Welcome back to our 2020 video series where you'll find 20 tips throughout the year on how to be more financially healthy. Today, in our last video for the year, we want to help you reflect on the financial year that was 2020. So what's the importance of reflecting on your financial year? Well, 2020 for many of us was a unique year in so many ways, and taking a look back at what happened can help us prepare for this coming year, 2021, which is one we hope is full of possibility. The first thing we'd encourage you to do is look back on this last year and come up with 5 financial things that happened that you are really proud of. Now, they could be big things, they could be small things. A big thing might include purchasing your first home, sending a kid to college, saving up to pay cash for a major purchase. But we also want you to reflect on small things like saving $50 to pay cash for something. That is an achievement worth celebrating. Reflect on the ways in which you were very successful in your financial world this past year. And then on the flip side, our next tip is to come up with 3 financial things that you can work on for this coming year. So for instance, is there an element of your life that you would like to improve on? Maybe it's your savings habits. It could be your budgeting. It could be your credit score. What are 3 things that you want to improve on your financial life in this coming year? If you need assistance in that area, now is the perfect time to connect with one of our financial coaches who can give you personal, individual advice to help you improve those areas of your financial world. Next step is to list out the financial goals you wanted to achieve this past year, but you didn't. And ask yourself, what caused you to get off track? So for instance, if you had a goal to save a certain amount of money this year, but you weren't able to reach that goal, analyze why that was the case. Were the reasons for that within your control or outside of your control? And 2020 is going to be the perfect year to do that because there were so many things that happened this year that were outside of our control. But looking back and figuring out the why behind why we may not have reached our goals is a really, really valuable part of this process and can really help us understand how we interact with and handle money. And our next step is to identify potential barriers in your financial world and figure out how to overcome them this next year. So for instance, maybe you're going to be having a kiddo this next year and that can represent a financial barrier. How are you going to prepare for that? How are you going to adjust and acclimate to that? What's coming for you in 2021 that you're aware of that you can begin to prepare for now? Write that out on paper. Maybe it's a calendar of, hey, this is when a major financial change is going to happen for me. It could be a good change as well. Maybe you're going to get a pay raise at a certain point. What's your plan for that money? Kind of plan out your financial year so that when those things come up, you aren't surprised by them. And then the last thing that we would encourage you to do is, as you're thinking about this in 2020, reflect on what would you like your net worth to be this time next year. And your net worth is when you look at all of the assets that you have, cash, maybe homes that you own, versus the debts that you have, and what's the number when you take the debts and subtract them from the assets. What would you like your net worth to be in 2021? And visualize yourself hitting that number. How would you celebrate? What would that look like? If you can visualize it, you can realize it. So again, ask yourself, what would you like your net worth to be and how are you going to get there this next year? If you need assistance or help, again, we as your credit union are here to help however we possibly can. 2020 has certainly been an interesting year and we have loved doing this video series. Make sure that you continue to stay tuned in to our YouTube, Facebook, Instagram. We're going to continue to put out great financial education content in 2021. Thank you for joining us for this series. Have a wonderful end of your year and let's all look forward to 2021.